Ready for another show, buddy? You want to get things started or what?
Think we should get it started? Let's do it.
Let's do it. Making bread with Ched. Making bread with Ched. What's up, my friends? Monday, March 12th, 2018. I'm here with my main man, Big Chonis. How we doing, buddy?
Hey, Cheds.
Hey,
Hey,
buddy.
Cheds. How's it going tonight? Excited to be here.
You are. You sound excited.
I'm always excited to talk crypto.
Tell us, we were talking about this earlier. What do you think the purpose? What is the point of this show? What do you think we're trying to do here?
Listen, we talk crypto. We debate crypto all the time, and there's so much going on in the space. And what I love about crypto so much is that it never ends, 24/7, 365.
Yep.
There's so much interesting stuff to talk about, and I think that's what the goal of the show is to just talk crypto, learn from it, debate it, and just happy to be here, and let's get it going.
I'm happy to have you, man.
Thanks.
Nice to have someone to bounce ideas off. And from my view, what I'm trying to do here is I want to talk about my style of trading. I'm trying to talk about what works for me. And there's a lot of styles, many different styles out there that I respect. And I could maybe try to teach you other styles, but I don't know those styles. So I'm going to teach you what I know. And the style that I'm trying to teach is a simple volume-based style, heavy on candlestick reading. And I'm trying to teach you essentially how to paper trade, how to practice trading. And the purpose of what I'm doing is for educational purposes, to kind of give you an edge up. And that's what we're doing. But once again, I'm happy to have you here. If you guys like what you're seeing, I'd like to encourage you to check me out on Twitter at Big Cheds. I put out a lot of product, a lot of content out there, different chart ideas, from time to time. Try to keep you guys updated. If you like this video and you like, what you see coming, and there'll be more videos in the future, please subscribe on Twitter. Ched's Trading is the channel. The first video is coming out soon. It's going to be chart basics for dummies. And, just to kind of go over some stuff to get you guys comfortable and familiar with the ebb and flow of price action. I have my blog, chedstrading.blogspot.com. A lot of great articles on trading. This first one here, The Complete Beginner's Guide to Trading. A lot of people, their favorite section is chart basics. You can jump right here. I talk about using Bollinger Bands. I talk about on-balance volume. A lot of different stuff. I think you guys will really enjoy that. There's a lot of other great articles, 5 ways trading like poker, and also, once again, happy you guys joined us, and I think it's time we get things kicked right off. Big Chonis, the format of today's show, my friends, we're going to do market news and overview. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the undercurrents that are going on. Then we're going to do some analysis. We're going to do Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum analysis. We're going to then cover those altcoins, and we're going to roll right into chart requests. So you guys just fire right off what you want us to do. And finally, kind of an interesting new segment that's pretty cool is we're going to do a live chart reading segment. My man Big Chonis, he's going to analyze a 1-minute chart live, which is funny because you guys know that I say never use a 1-minute chart. This will be just kind of for educational, kind of a experimental purpose. He's going to do some live reading and just give a little back and forth. It'll be fun. Anything you want to add, buddy, before we move on here?
I think you said it all, man. Let's do it.
Let's move right on. So right now, March 12th, 2018, we're looking at a roughly 375 billion market cap. Average 24-hour volume around 14.1 billion. I believe you had some news, a couple news items there, Chonis. You were going to be talking about, and the first one was something about the bear whale. Is there something going on with the bear whale?
Well, listen, not every day you get some interesting news about Bitcoin. A lot of stuff is about price action, but this was really kind of interesting thing. It actually kind of popped last week that there is this bear whale who's basically in charge of liquidating the Mount Gox Bitcoins, the ones that were not hacked in that major hack they experienced. And it kind of created some FUD last week when it came out that he's been dumping for several months now. And a lot of people were speculating on kind of what that meant and how it kind of drove a lot of price action over the past few weeks. The latest news basically is that he, due to some legal wranglings, isn't going to be liquidating anything until potentially September. And I found that really interesting because, for starters, I just couldn't imagine that this one person, even though he was diluting into the market, was really creating a lot of the price action that we experienced last month. And basically through the past time frame here, 35,800 Bitcoin, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, that's a lot of money there. That's a lot of Bitcoin. But I just can't imagine that this is the one reason why we've basically experienced such a price correction. Nor can I imagine that him not liquidating the market over the next several months is going to do a whole lot to basically increase the price action or increase the price of Bitcoin. But it was one of those things that the news and the mass media kind of seized on, and I kind of felt like that was an interesting kind of topic that probably won't hear about in the coming days or months, because it's just kind of one of those things that shows up and disappears pretty quickly in the crypto space.
Okay, that's some very good analysis. Also, something that caught your eye was like John Oliver, I guess a late night host. He had done some kind of segment.
I love watching the John Oliver show on HBO. And he did a great 25-minute rant, I guess, if you will, just talking about Bitcoin, a little bit about his origins and his own John Oliver way that he does, and basically talking about what it is, using a lot of examples of some altcoins that ran up pretty crazy in terms of price action, and just the overall FUD. Wrecked a lot of the terminology he was throwing out there. It was great to hear all that. It was great for him to even focus on the specific altcoins that I've been following myself over the many months. But kind of to sum up what his whole thesis was, you know, the volatility is there. This is a very young market. Don't fall for the FOMO. A lot of what we experienced over the past several months has been this FOMO-driven craze.
Yep.
And, you know, in trading and everything, it's like if you can't afford to lose the money you're trading with, you probably shouldn't be doing it in the first place. And I thought it was such a very interesting cultural moment where when something you love is not necessarily lampooned, but at least brought up by somebody that has a pretty wide audience, such as the John Oliver show.
Right. When the
I almost felt that was
over,
very
right. It's a crossover moment for sometimes for good reason, you know,
exactly,
for a bad reason. You wanted to something you wanted to mention that we had talked about before. CoinMarketCap. You had talked. Was it something about circulating supply versus price? Is that something you had mentioned?
Yeah, I wanted to touch briefly about that. If we can check out the CoinMarketCap, and on the very top there it says circulating supply, and let's go to the basically what has the most coins out there. And I want to talk a little bit about valuation.
Okay.
Just click on that. You basically see number 79 there is a coin called Kin. Not too familiar with it, but if you look at it, there are 756 billion 97,560,976 Kin tokens out there in the world.
It's a lot, and it's way more than the next guy, right? It's even like double. So what's your point? What's the point? Let's get to it.
My point is, and I'm going to use Ripple, which we've all heard of as an example, is that there are 40 billion Ripple out there at current price of around 80 cents. Now, I traded Ripple back in the day. It's definitely a tradable token coin, but for it to be a $10, let's say, would give it a $400 billion market cap. And my last point is, can you really say that if that was going to happen, Ripple would be more than Netflix? That doesn't really make any sense.
Right.
So we really have to keep our expectations in range when we have to understand how many coins are actually out there.
Circulating supply. I think that's a great point. Let's roll right into it. Let's let's get things started. Let's look at Bitcoin right now. and you know, we want to look at the shorts and the longs as well afterwards. But you know, just kind of looking at the daily chart right now, you know, for Bitcoin. You know, we've got the same things going on. You've got the upper trend line, right? You've got that rejection. You got the lower trend line support. Yesterday, we had a great candle, right? We had that crossing bottom signal. We have this big, beautiful green candle, pretty much a bullish engulfing. And you're thinking, you know, we're good to go. And then we see today's candle showing us, you know, today. What does that tell you when you see the candle we had today? You know, what does that mean for you?
After yesterday's candle, I was very optimistic about some of the price action we might be able to experience today. Yesterday's candle basically fully engulfed the previous 2 days of price action. It's a very bullish move, very bullish looking candle. Right. I think a lot of people today were wondering if we were going to break that 10K range on the way up. Yeah, and we got pretty close, but definitely
for
something
today?
happened
You mean
after
today?
that.
We got to 98.90 today.
So after we hit that, and I think people were looking to see, is this to push over 10K?
Right.
And sure enough, the bears attacked. And wow, $900 later, pretty much is where we're sitting right now.
All right, let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. All right, so I'm going to go 4 hour.
Okay.
And so, all right, so you see what, you know, what's kind of interesting to me is I was watching this earlier. So you see you see the candle, the big red candle, right, that we had, right, like 4 candles ago. 3 candles, right? And right after that, this next one, you know, that was a little hammer, right? Until 30 minutes before that candle closed, it was looking like a beautiful hammer. And then all of a sudden they came in and it dropped like, what, like a couple hundred points, 992. And it dropped, so it dropped like 300 points. So it was like, you know, it kind of bulls had hope, and then boom, they squashed the bulls. Then you got this nice next candle inside bar, you know, bullish harami. Looks a little better here on the 4 hour. You know, and I'm kind of seeing like a triple bottom here. What do you think?
Today's price action was very hard to understand. I remember when I went to bed last night, price was hovering around 97, yep. And I assumed this morning I would wake up and it would be over 10,000. And it was actually lower this morning when I woke up, and that's why I was not surprised to see some of the downward price action we saw all throughout the day. It basically told you that this thing is not ready to push over 10 just yet.
Not just yet, but it's also not collapsing, right? It's also not collapsing.
This is true.
I mean,
sideways price action.
You're looking obviously. You're looking like bear flags on the 4 hour, right? It doesn't mean it could break it out, right? It doesn't, you know. So I mean, you got to kind of see how it plays out. It's a consolidation pattern. Let's go to Ethereum. Let's go to Ethereum on the daily chart, and I've got a bunch of trend lines already drawn. So I mean, it depends. I mean, you can move trend lines around, but you're roughly kind of at like a lower support level. Here, so on the daily chart, right? We're kind of, I mean, the daily chart, you can argue also a bear flag.
Listen, I love Ethereum. I love it. Yeah,
but what do you think
right now, what we're seeing is a continued deflationary. It feels deflationary. It has such a great run.
Support there, but can it hold? The question is, look, all right, look where it is now. Look back. All right. Look would be back to like December 28th, right? And look for those like 2 weeks. That's massive high sideways support. You hit that area again back on February 5th. This is an area where you hold conceivably, and then you look to it's going to go up from here, retest this downtrend line. You extend it out, you know, to whatever point. But it looks like you've already got 5 sideways days here. So I don't care if you love it. Excuse me. Who cares what you love it or don't love it? Can you trade it? And it looks like it could hold support here. Excuse me, in my opinion, 4 hour chart. And if I go kind of in here in like a 4 hour, we get kind of the same pattern we're seeing with Bitcoin. So Jonas, put up a 4 hour in Ethereum. You see kind of that same triple bottom, right? We've still got, I mean, you got 4 hours for the new candle, but the latest candle is nice. So that one looks pretty good on the 4 hour.
I like the triple bottom. I definitely see it's trying to find some support there. Right. My fear now is it creating a rather large bear flag or a bear wedge?
Let's go Litecoin. Let's go Litecoin daily. We're looking at Litecoin daily. Looks. Let's take a look here. I guess because it like that. Um. Yeah, we're still doing the same thing we've been doing, right? But you're holding the break. We're still holding, right? You've got all these days, kind of what, 4 or 5 days in a row, that you're holding. Um. You know, what's the reason to go up? You are at a good spot, like an accumulation typically, right? You're buying near the lower Bollinger in the daily. You see what I'm saying? Like that's typically, a value area. Would you agree with that?
It does feel like that when we bought them a few days ago at 157 and change, and we spiked up to about 193-ish range, because we've been able to consistently hold that area, it does feel like accumulation. But I also feel like, and again, Litecoin is one of the ones I love very much so, I also feel and unfortunately fear that it will continue to basically go in step with whatever happens to Bitcoin at this short-term moment.
Maybe.
However, I'm still more bullish
don't
on
believe that.
Litecoin's price
I'm
action
just like
recently.
when I hear that, I'm just like, you know what? Until it doesn't. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm always like, everyone's like, they always like, oh, this old rule, that old rule. I'm like, well, that's great until it doesn't happen. So you look for divergence, right? And we spot that. That's why people look at the LTC BTC chart, right? You're looking for divergence versus the USD. So I mean, that's let's you know what I'm saying, right?
I agree.
4 hour. I'm going 4 hour now. LTC. We're seeing the same thing we're seeing Ethereum and Bitcoin. And you're getting a nice, you're getting a nice reset. It's cooling off here. 4 hours almost done cooling off. So I mean, it's conceivable to hold this bottom. It doesn't mean you will. So it's just kind of one of those things. I think we're doing pretty good here. Let's take a look. You want to take a look for us here at the longs and the shorts, Jonas? You want to direct
Yeah, let's
us?
bring it up.
What do you got? Which one you want to look at first?
Let's look at the Bitcoin longs.
Bitcoin longs over what period do you want to look at?
Let's start with just the 4 hour.
Okay. All right. So what's your? I mean, I got a couple thoughts initially.
All right. So
what are your thoughts?
I like to watch the Bitcoin longs and shorts.
Yep.
I think it kind of gives you a really good perspective on what's going on.
Do you have to wear shorts to watch? No. Okay. Sorry.
And really what I'm seeing here is in a 24-hour period, I'm seeing Bitcoin shorts up 1% and change, and Bitcoin longs up 0.6% and change. And basically what that's telling me is there's extreme indecision right now in the market. Normally when there's clear price action and clear direction, you kind of see one way spiking much more over the other one.
Yep.
Right now, because they're so close, within 1% of each other, and even the up is only 1% or two higher here, it's clearly telling you we're going to be seeing this sideways, slightly lower price action for the short-term future.
But tell you what, the longs and the shorts?
They're showing us there's so much indecision right now in the market.
It's interesting. They're both kind of, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like interesting. Like the longs almost is like maybe a big cup and handle. Who knows, right? Or just like a W bottom. It's something, right? And the longs is like, the shorts rather. It's like, is it starting a new downtrend? You see what I'm saying? Because you've already got like a lower low. See what I'm saying? Like on the short. So I'm trying to. It's interesting. I think. Like, what do you do? How do you? How do you extrapolate? And how do you apply this to your trading plan, Jonas? What do you think?
Well, again, I think what you're seeing from these two kind of informative price action gauges, you're basically seeing the consistent indecision that Bitcoin has been giving you over the past couple days.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's been a lot of money that can be made over the past couple days in Bitcoin. Every time you have 1,000-point price action swing in a 24-hour period, that's good money there, whether you're shorting it or going long in that
That's right.
process.
Volatility, right?
Volatility is a trader's friend. That's what people look for.
I want to do a quick reset here. This is your man Cheds, and I'm here with Big Jonas. He's a trading friend of mine. He brings a lot of quality, a lot of perspective. This is what is it? Making bread with Ched. We're trying new names. What is it? Like cooking with Ched or Ched's crypto chat? There's a couple different choices. Big Ched's live.
Big Ched's live, not to be confused with a food channel network show, but
yep.
We love talking cheddar. We love talking cheddar.
Chad, we
We
love
love
talking Chad, yeah.
talking coin. We love talking crypto.
Yep, let's
And
do it.
this is kind of a way for us to vent, to kind of get a lot of what we're seeing off our chest, and kind of debate amongst ourselves about what we feel the market's moving and where things might be moving price action wise in the next few days, weeks, and months to come.
Let's do it. So this is Chad's guys. We're going to keep rolling. We're going to start. We'll do a couple altcoins, and then we'll go right into requests. So I'm going to start out with ADA. ADA on the daily chart. We're kind of just doing what we've been doing. We're trying to consolidate. We're consolidating at the lower range of this previous support area. If you go back to December 18th to December 28th, you know, that whole area, that range, we're trying to hold the lower area of that range. So it's kind of a critical point for it right here. What do you see? What are you seeing on it?
Cheds, I've been following ADA for months now. ADA, also known as Cardano, the Cardano project, really has a lot of potential in terms of a whole thought. And I actually read some of the white paper to get a sense of what they're talking about. Lots of potential there. Lots of brilliant minds behind it. Tremendous price action, basically heading into December. I remember scooping some up in the low thousands Satoshi range and just kind of seeing what could happen and just being utterly astonished when it pretty much 10-bagged in the matter of weeks. And what we've been seeing since it peaked off at around 9,100.
9,100. Yeah, but what about right now? Let's get right to the
Satoshis.
let's get to it. Let's get some hard cold analysis. 4-hour chart. Go.
Okay, so 4-hour chart. We are seeing it resting right now, kind of in the area of some previous price action. Actually, it's a little lower.
This candle. Look at the recent candle, right? Look at that.
There does seem to be something slightly different.
Shooting star, top channel, right? 4-hour. All right. So it's trying to consolidate, but I think it's going to go down here very shortly. Let's see. Let's do a couple ones that I know people definitely like, and we'll roll through. Let's go to NEO. Everyone loves NEO. Daily chart is just chilling, but it's trying to find support. And if you look, Jonas here at the NEO daily chart, like where does it have really support? I mean, like back.
The first thing when I look at the NEO chart that pops out to me on the daily is that a head and shoulders I see before me. I mean,
yeah, sure.
Wow.
I mean, you could be head and shoulders. I mean, I feel like you could do that in any chart. I feel like any chart could have any pattern if you wanted. But like, I mean, yeah. I could see head and shoulders. Okay, so then let's say it is head and shoulders. Where do you see support? Is it like 87? Is it like this 87 to 79? Is that kind of the like logical support? Next logical support?
Wow, I kind of think you took the words out of my mouth there. Yeah, I'm seeing it right around the 79 to 8.
Yep.
Was that 811,000 Satoshi range?
Yep.
Seems to be a lot of historic support there.
Okay.
Would not be surprised if that's where we're going in the next couple days.
All right, let's go to daily chart. We'll just leave it at that. Let's go to Nano daily chart. And I think Nano, I'm gonna go 4-hour. Go 4-hour Binance Nano chart.
I'm there.
All right, so I kind of like on first glance is appealing to me. What do you think? You've got the bottom channel stochastics. You've got kind of like you get the 5 red candles, and you got like that bullish engulf. You got the nice green candle here, right? That just closed recently, and now you're kind of a little follow up. So it looks pretty good, right? And you get the lower Bollinger Band support. So this is a nice setup. What do you think?
Short term, I am liking the price action. I just feel like this is possibly another one of those alts that had a really amazing run. Again, I'm seeing head and shoulders wherever I look. I would not be surprised if NEO still had some deflationary tendencies to go.
This one is like, this is more of like a long bull pennant, right? Don't you see that like the long consolidation? You see the flagpole, like, you know what I mean? That's like the pattern that jumps out the most. No.
I do see what you're talking about. I fear, though, that the way that the cup, the last, on the daily at least, the last 3 or 4 candles, even the 4-hour, it's just a continued slide trying to find where is that support.
Yeah.
Where is that support? I think
if
it's
you're going
lower.
back, if I'm going based on the 4-hour, I'm going to say my support's got to be like this range here, right? Low 10s, and then if that fails, you got all this stuff here, which is like 80, 83 to 96. Let's take a look at that. Let's go ahead
Hey, Cheds,
and
I got one here. I got a request.
you don't get requests. All right, go ahead.
I'm requesting a request.
Which one?
This one actually had some really good price action today, and I kind of wanted to take
Okay.
a peek at it because it's one I've been following for a while.
Let's hear it. Spit it
and
out. Spit it out.
it
Spit it out.
sounds interesting. All right, let's put in the XEM BTC,
Exum.
otherwise known as NEM XEM.
Okay. Let's do it. All right. So I'm gonna go daily chart. All right, you got like Bollinger Pinch, right? Bollinger XEM Bittrex daily chart. You got Bollinger Pinch, right at the upper Bollinger with top channel stochastic, but this is like kind of light volume, so you're kind of looking for something to kickstart, right? Little volume. What do you think? Little volume to kickstart it?
What really stuck out to me about this, and I've been following this one for a while, is where it's particularly bottomed. I'm always looking for coins, basically, if they're kind of bottom, are they bottoming in an area that kind of creates a continued upward trend long term? And what happened when NEM kind of bottomed in the 3,000 Satoshi range did seem to find some legitimate support, and I'm liking the price action
I would appreciate
over the
some
past several
support.
days.
I would appreciate some legitimate support. I just want to put that out there.
I do what I can, Chance. I do what I can.
Let's just real quick. I want to go to let's see, Binance. Let's look at the 24-hour change. And it looks like Sub is the big winner. SUB. Is that what you're seeing over there, buddy? Let's look at Sub. Let's take a look. Let's go Sub. BTC.
Wow, that had some great price action today.
Yeah, so daily chart. I mean, it's like the question always is when you see something like this, what's the first question? It's like, can it still run? Right? You're always like, how much room does it have? And if I'm looking just at the daily chart, I'm already kind of above the upper Bollinger Band, but it's not like crazy above it. I mean, like conceivably, you'd be like, okay, I could see it run and then have run into some trouble here at like 9,000. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It seemed like it had a great candle on the daily, and it was trying to punch through. Got totally rejected on the 55 EMA, right around 7,400 Satoshi.
Yeah.
But wow, that's a great looking candle. And I do like the fact that it had such an epic run to almost 21,000 Satoshi. I like how far it came back. And if you look about
look
5 days,
look at the volume.
Volume's good.
But the volume, go to the 4-hour chart, like the volume just hit. So we're actually, that's kind of interesting. So like it's happening, right? Whatever it's doing, it's kind of doing it now.
It almost feels like a hit when the 55 crossed over the 21, and because of that, that's bringing a lot of eyeballs, potentially money into this.
That's certainly possible.
There's
There's definitely a segment of traders who have a style, moving average crossings. Let's take a look at the MCO as well. MCO.
Got it.
And Monaco. I'm gonna go Binance Monaco. And okay, so this is, you look at like a 4-hour Jonas for Monaco, and it looks like it's kind of stair stepping, right? And each time you're getting these scary candles, right? You're getting this shooting star. You're getting these scary candles, and it's still going, spinning top.
Yeah.
So
This
the question
has
is like, what does it do? Does it keep going? Right? That's what you know what I mean?
This has topping off right now written all over it. It's the 4-hour. Looks like it's tried 4 times to break the 100,000 Satoshi range, and it just can't do it. I would not be surprised for a correction coming from this.
This is an area, right? So if you scroll out, it's got a bunch. I mean, it's working through a bunch of traffic. Yeah, I mean, boom. I mean, look how far it is above on the daily. You're already like above the upper. So I mean,
yeah.
If you're a bull, you want it to consolidate. Maybe it's gonna come back down to 900 or 9 right here. Like 918. How about Ncash? I'm going Binance. Number 3 looks like it's Ncash.
Take a peek at it.
It looks like it's new in Binance. I'll go 4-hour. All right. I mean, look. I mean, what are you gonna do with this thing? It just keeps it's just
all
hovering
right.
up.
So I've learned, and this is through experience, trial and error,
Yep.
and believe me, when a new coin shows up on an exchange,
Yeah, but this
either
isn't
if it's a
typical.
coin that's brand new or it's a coin that's been on previous exchanges like Binance
Yeah.
and now is available to purchase on Bittrex, there's always initial crazy price action
Yep.
that is just one of those things where I honestly prefer staying away and allowing price action to settle over several days, if not weeks, until a market, a real legitimate market, can be formed
Okay.
within whichever
I
exchange.
totally agree with you. Now look, this one. What's interesting to me and what normally it takes longer. Like normally these take longer when they're newly listed, right? This one, what's interesting to me is clearly you're breaking your downtrend. Like whatever your downtrend line is, you've broken it. So that's kind of interesting to me.
I
I mean, who
do
knows? I don't
see
know if it
that.
keeps.
That's a
Yeah,
very good point, Chad, because
right.
it only took, it looks like, almost 2 weeks from
Yeah,
the initial offering
yeah. These always
to
take
where it
longer.
bottomed.
Yep.
And there's actually some pretty good price action basically since March 9th. That's actually one to keep an eye on. I'm
Yep.
actually
I totally
surprised how
agree.
well it's
I agree. So let's keep an eye on that one. Let's do two more. Let's do AST. AST BTC.
air
Bind
swap.
air swap.
Hmm.
Wow. On the 4 hour, look at this volume clump. It's just hit, right? Look, the volume is hit in the most recent 4 hour candle. So that's kind of, you got, yeah, this kind of actually is interesting. You got your downtrend, 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 and as I always say, sideways first, right? So you've got that, and you go sideways, and then boom, volume's hitting. So this is kind of interesting.
This looks really good. I can really count a good 5 Elliott wave up, and you can
Yep,
almost count a perfect ABC correction down. And the
yep,
last three candles, last 3 days,
yep.
great price action. Go to the 4 hour. Last 8 hours have been. Look at that. I love
No,
to
it's not
see
even
it
the last 8 hours because
quick.
this candle you're looking at is only 30 minutes old. So all that volume is essentially it's in the last 4 hours, 4.5 hours,
This is
right? Five
interesting. This is a
hours.
good looking coin. I
Yeah,
like
I
how it's
agree.
retraced.
Yep,
It basically has reset from its
looks pretty good.
parabolic move,
I like it
and
here.
this would be one to keep an eye on.
I
This
agree.
is a
I
one to
agree.
keep an
We'll
eye on for
circle back
sure.
next show. We'll make a note to kind of circle back next show. Ven, VEN. I may already have Ven in here. Ven BTC. Huh. I mean, yeah, it's kind of trying to bottom. It's like looks like more like the Bitcoin and all the other one charts, right? Where you're getting this long bottom here in the 4 hour on Ven.
Ven looks good. It looks like it could down a lot more. Another parabolic move
Oh, I see.
with
If you look at the
trying to
daily,
find a bottom.
look at the daily.
Uh,
Look where we're trying to hold. Is that same clutch support area from January 10th to like the 17th, like that whole week.
yes, we're definitely in an interesting flagging area. There's very little support under it, though. This could
Yep.
really come down at any time.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. And guys, we're gonna do requests soon, so get your requests ready. This is your man Cheds. I'm here with Big Chonas, making bread with Ched. And the last one we're gonna do here is wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, let's top 5. Let's get your requests. Let's make the people happy. NEBL, Nibble Nebble. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up NEBL. Let's take a look at that one. Jonas, what do you got on NEBL? I gotta look at it. Okay. I'm gonna go 4 hour. Okay. I mean, it's consolidating. What do you think? You tell me what you think in the 4 hour.
There's not much here. There's not a lot of price action. There's really not a lot of volume. This is just one of those coins that's basically trying to find where its market is.
Right.
Any attempt to trade this right now, like I do kind of see it's finding some support in this 13,000 Satoshi area. There is some history there. So it definitely feels like this may be a bottoming area. However, I would not be surprised if it came all the way back down to the 8 to 7,000 Satoshi range until it found your absolute bottom. That's kind of what I'm seeing on this particular coin.
I think we're seeing. Yeah. We're seeing like a long downward consolidation. If I was just kind of just like in the moment, you're kind of trying to bottom here. Bollingers are pinching. You gotta, if you look at the 4 hour, like the candles are pretty nice, right? You got
What
a
does
couple
that Bollinger pinching mean to you?
Well, Bollinger pinching, is gonna. It means that you're gonna have a change in direction. All right. And most likely you're heading towards a pivot, you know, or a fork in the road. It would be a nice analogy. Is you're heading towards a fork in the road. And we don't know if you're gonna go up or you're gonna go down. So let's take the next one. Chart request.
Let's do APPC. Let's see what
Okay.
Syed wants us to do about.
Okay. APPC.
App Coins. That's a good name there.
All right, I'm gonna go. Let's see if we can get a daily chart, and this one's kind of whatever. I'm gonna go 4 hour because you don't have as much history. All right. I don't like it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's still trying to find its price action. I mean, it's finding a
See,
bottom.
I don't see strength. I mean, it's kind of finding the bottom. You've got the higher lows, higher highs. So if you go based on close method, you're heading towards right here, pretty close to a pinch. I mean,
It doesn't feel like this is the worst entry area here. If you want to kind of hold on for a while, see if you can get some sort of a spike.
Yeah. I mean, if you based on where price action's been.
Yeah, this is not a bad risk versus reward area.
I mean, based on what method though? So I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. What are you?
And this is such a new coin. It looks like it's only been on this exchange.
I mean, I don't know how I draw it so it's bullish, but I just got to see what happens. I guess if you do dip your toes in, you got to make sure your stop loss is if it breaks 43.50. You know what I mean? Let's go to the next one, ICX. I'm seeing ICX. We've talked about it before. I mean, you're looking at ICX, you're looking for a pulse, right? Like a lot of these charts, they're just slowly drifting down. 4 hour showing us.
4 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another one. It had a great move.
Here, right there.
Interestingly,
right there, this area.
I'm actually kind of interested in this one for a minute. Let's take a moment here.
Yeah.
It's clearly finding support in a previous price range it had back in December 23rd, 24th.
Is that what you're looking at? That's exactly where I was looking. No, I totally agree. I was trying to figure out where is it finding support. So that's what we're doing. I mean, ideally you're holding that because if you don't hold that area, you're looking, 18 to 2,000, roughly. So yeah, I agree. So that's what we're kind of doing. That's the value of getting perspective. Is you're trying to figure out, why are we here? Why are we not lower or higher? What's the support? All right, so. Let's go to the next one. Have we done Lumen, XLM? I don't think we've done it.
Let's do Lumen. I love Lumen.
So, you've always been into Lumen. So daily chart, big run, consolidation, trying to find bottom. Daily chart, showing us is can't break the middle Bollinger, right? That's what jumps out.
Yeah, I see that. It feels like Lumen's been in the 3,000 Satoshi range forever. Yep. Clearly trying to find some support there, which actually happens to fall on its trend line that it kind of started back when it was down to 500 Satoshi and then 1,000. So it's definitely finding some historic support here. I'd love to see it hold in the 3,000 range. This coin has so much potential,
right? But
and I almost feel it's.
Yeah, you feel
it's one of those things. Well, I feel it's one of those coins that just because of where it is in the coin market cap, that's one of those coins that's kind of lasts longer than others.
People are going to give it a look. I think I'm looking to see 2850 area hold, right? So I mean that's what I kind of see on Lumen. 4 hours just kind of churning. It's not, it looks like it's just churning. I mean, it broke this big downtrend here on the 4 hour. It broke its downtrend back on like March 3rd. We're just kind of churning. Let's move on to the next one, DGD BTC. Let's go to DGD Digig. How do you pronounce? Who could pronounce all these? All right, Digi something or others. So DGD, I'm gonna go 4 hour. I mean, look, but bear pennant. But in terms of like, if you're scalping it, you're at the lower Bollinger. You've got, I mean, on balance volume's not bad. You're at the lower Bollinger. You've got some nice, nice lower wicks. The candles here, so you could, What do you think? I'm thinking you could go 36 to 39. What do you think?
I think DGG actually looks pretty good.
Yeah. What do you like about it?
I'm not too familiar with it. Looks like Digix DAO. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, it depends on
I'm
your
really
time zone.
liking.
Different time zone, different pronunciation. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really liking the sense that it feels like it keeps putting in higher lows. And if you
Higher
go
lows. Okay.
on the 4 hour and kind of zoom out,
Yep.
it's on this steady uptrend. It had a couple parabolic moves, actually one really parabolic move
One low,
where it spiked up
two,
to
three,
75,000.
four.
But I really feel like its price action right now is
Four.
not
Okay.
really that overly
So,
inflated. I kind of like
all
it.
right. So I'm gonna adopt your theory. I'm gonna go for higher lows, right? I'm gonna go like higher low, January 24th. I'm gonna go one. I'm gonna go two. February 18th. I'm gonna go three on February 20th, and then I'm gonna go the fourth one here, February on March 9th. So, okay, if I'm your theory, right? If I'm adopting that method, that means now I need to hold 33.2, whatever. That's like your lower. So if you break that, right, and you close below that on a 4 hour, then you would no longer have that higher low. Would you agree?
That would be a very bearish sign.
Okay, so let's. I think that's a good way to look at it. Do you have any coins you want to take one from the chat?
Oh, let's see here. We did NEM, we did XLM, we did ADA. Those are kind of the three that I noticed today had some great price action.
Yep.
What do you say we go back to the big three and take a peek what's going
No, we
on
got some
there?
time there. Let's get some more. There's some more. We want to feed the people here. ZRX. We're looking at seeing some people looking for some ZRX here. Let's go ZRX. Let's go 4 hour. All right, you've got. I'm looking at downtrend break. Right, I'm looking at downtrend break. 4 hour. I'm looking at this sideways consolidation, and I'm looking at stochastics getting across off the bottom after holding this area here in the high sixes. What are you seeing?
ZRX is one of my coins, been following for a while. I like the technology behind it, the OX platform. My concern with it currently on the price action, I like that it's trying to find a bottom in this area, the kind of high sixes to low 7,000 Satoshi.
Yep.
There's clear price action history going back to the first of the new year. However, I would not be surprised if it actually finds a bottom a little lower, somewhere in the 5,500 Satoshi range. That
Right.
would be an area where if it hits that, I'd be really interested in it again.
So that'd be
I
like a
feel-
back
oh,
test. So if I was to kind of do that, right, and I draw out that line of that recent quote unquote down trend that it broke, 5,500 would be somewhere around like a back test of that trend line. So that'd be kind of interesting to see, just if you're kind of looking at it from that perspective. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Let's take a look at OST. We're gonna do one or two more, and then we're gonna do let's do the majors. Let's jump right into your 1 minute kind of a live chart reading in a few minutes. So once you get yourself ready for that, all right? I'm going to look at OST here on the 4 hour. So we're trying to bottom here in the 4 hour. We found some support. Found some support here in the low 2,000 area. On bounce volume's pretty good. But we're already mid-channel though, right, on stochastic. So if you're looking for a run, I don't know if you're going to like jump and break through the upper Bollinger here unless you get some kind of volume. What are you seeing showing us here on the OST?
I agree. I really think we're kind of finding a bottom here. Historically, we basically come back from our parabolic move. We topped out almost 10,000 Satoshi.
Yep.
We're back down. We basically had almost an 80% pullback from our nut high.
Okay.
That's a kind of interesting area there where if you look historically, we're kind of in a bottoming area. Around 2,000 Satoshi, not a bad R versus R in this area.
Absolutely.
If you want to hodl for a while.
Okay. That's always a good approach. I'm going to look at SALT, S-A-L-T, BTC. And SALT there. Let's look at it on the Binance. I think there's more volume there. Go where there's more volume. All right, SALT, S-A-L-T, BTC. I mean, look at this OBV, just like steady downtrend, right? Like I see that. That's the first warning sign on any ticker. You know what I'm saying?
That is definitely concerning. It seems like after January 8th, it topped off and has been a slow decline ever since.
Kind of like me. Kind of like my life, right? And our good looks, too. Slow decline. Let's do Walton's the last one. We'll do WTC, and then we're going to roll into the 1 minute charts, okay?
Sounds great.
We're going to look at Walton, WTC 4 hour, and guys, we'll do some more requests afterwards, so hang in there. All right. I mean, look, we're oversold here on the 4 hour. This will be interesting to hold. If it can hold this area, if you can bounce, right, off the lower Bollinger, and you got this prior support here at the 16.7, what do you think, Jonas? I would kind of like it here.
This is a very interesting area. Normally, I'd say we're still oversold, overbought, and coming down, but there is a lot of historical
1, 2, 3
price action
bottom.
in this 16, 17,000 Satoshi range here. This could be a bottom area right here. If I would say, if it breaks 15,000 Satoshi, there's a good chance going down to about 10 or so. But right now, it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
What are you looking for? Like, is there a candle you want to see, or like, what do you to kind of, you know what I mean? Is it? What
I would like to see a confirmation that this range is a good solid support. So honestly, what would be interesting is if we dip back into the 15,000 Satoshi range, and then a good wick pushes us back up. That would give me a little more confidence that this range here
so you want to see a lower wick, like a dip below the Bollinger, lower wick, but a close above, show some strength. I want to see
if the bulls can actually take over the bears in this one, because there's a solid support being set up here, especially if you look at the daily. We've been in this area here almost 10 days. That's significant. That's significant.
So, Bitcoin is 9,200 right now. 4 hour chart looks like we could be creeping back up here. You know, we could be kind of sliding back up. What do you want to do? 1 minute? What are our options here? 3 minute?
Let's do a 1 minute. Let's do a 1 minute for a little bit and see what kind of price action.
So I'm going to zoom out as much as I can, and why don't you kind of walk us through what you're seeing here?
Okay, so Bitcoin current price, and we're going to use the Coinbase marketplace, 9207. So listen, we seem to have bottomed a couple hours ago. Looks like we were at 8,700. Nice price movement since then. Nice price action. I'm not a big fan of the volume, though. We've kind of been in this low volume area for such a long time, and that's always very concerning. Again, we're not advising using the 1 minute in terms of trading, but it is fun to get kind of a real tick-to-tick price action.
Tell me what you got. Let's get into it. Tell me what you're seeing. Walk us through
I see some wicks. I see it hard to break 9,200. I see it try.
Up at 9,250?
9,250. It tried twice.
Okay.
It couldn't.
Getting
it got
lower
rejected.
Bollinger. Getting what? Lower Bollinger. It responds here in the 1 minute to lower Bollinger. Pretty well, right?
A little bit. It's finding support, but it almost feels like we're topping off once again after a nice little pump. And I think Bitcoin right now, sideways price action is always a little concerning because I like really some definitiveness in the marketplace.
Sure.
When you're going sideways or even like slightly up, it's always a little suspect.
No, but what depends on the context?
It's
suspect. Sure. I mean, if you're falling, the price is falling like sideways. It's like a Christmas present, right? Like you want sideways. Like that's, you know,
sideways
all day,
is
baby.
definitely
sideways
something.
All day. That's what I'm looking for. Because then you look for divergence where you go sideways, and you get, you know, like the candles look right, or you get like a bullish divergence. You know what I mean?
I think what Bitcoin is showing us right now, and I think what's going to continue to show us really through the rest of the week, is that we are in this slow deflationary still. Almost feels like at this point that the 10,000 range is showing so much resistance. And we came close yesterday.
Well, let's go 1 minute. Let's stay in the moment. We're looking at the 1 minute chart right now. I'm looking at a bottom stochastics. Can we cross? Boom. You got it right there. Responding in the middle Bollinger. You get those two lower wicks, right? You get those two potential hammers with the doji 2 minutes ago, Jonas.
I think we're going to move up a little bit here. I'd love to see a price break above 92.60.
Right. Are you going close? Why 92.60 the wicks? If I'm going by closes, I'm going 92.50, right?
92.50, you're right. You're right, and we're not too far off that. I wouldn't be surprised.
So upper Bollinger, so we could look at like an upper Bollinger, maybe 92.83, and then it has to pull back. if it can kind of do that, show some strength.
Yeah, but again, the volume is really suspect right now. We're going into the next day. We're only an hour in,
Yep.
and
Ah, the
normally
volume.
I like
Yep.
to see some good price action on a new day,
Yep.
new action. I'm just not seeing it right now. I
Okay.
almost feel like this is another day where we're going to see some sideways, couple moves here and there. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple $400 to $600 scalps
I
that are
think we're
on the
good here.
table.
I think we're good in the
But
1 hour. I mean, 1 hour, you got that flat OBV in the 1 hour, right, Bitcoin, Jonas? Um, but it's still kind of that triple bottom type area. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to see strength, but we could easily kind of drift back up to 9.7 to 9.8, 9.9 here pretty shortly.
yeah, it
Um,
almost feels like the more we zoom out in time, the larger the bear wedge seems to be forming.
yeah,
Um, this is one of those moments here where if you kind of trade it, do some scalp trades, keep your stop losses tight.
yep.
Um,
Let's do a
I
couple
feel this
requests.
isn't a
I'm with you,
moment
man.
where you're
You
kind
should
of
what?
feel like you're
Panic?
missing anything.
That's right, exactly right. You don't want to feel like there's FOMO. Wait for something strong. We got a couple minutes left here. Let's do a couple more requests here. I'm looking at POWR, 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 BTC.
Power ledger, let's do it.
Yeah, we got POWR Ledger. All right. Um, yeah, I'm seeing higher lows. What do you got on this one?
Let's see here.
Oh, you
Power
what you
ledger, a
call
lot
this?
of price history here. This is definitely interesting. Yeah, this one's tough. We come down so much. We were way 12,000. We're at 4,000. This one's tricky. I mean, even if we're able to find some bottoming here, and it
Yep,
definitely looks like we are finding some
right.
legitimate support in the 4 to 5,000 Satoshi range here.
It's like a new pet. Look, if you look at the downtrend, you've got the down. I'm trying to look at patterns, right? And you look at this like wedge we're in
Yeah.
right now. Do you see the wedge, the higher lows and lower highs? So I'm trying to like look back at like, did it do that before and fake us out? So I'm just kind of just looking to see. You know, you look and see when a pattern changes. So it's be interesting to kind of see what happens here. On balance, volume is not impressive yet, and but the volume, a little bit of volume here, which is pretty good. You got to kind of see how it plays out. Let's look at, did I do Enigma, ENG? ENG BTC. What do you got, Jonas? ENG BTC 4 hour.
This is a coin which is clearly wanting to hold this 19,000 Satoshi range. Clearly, there's a lot of good history, price action.
Yep.
Looks like back from the December 25th to the New Year's range where it had a lot of good. See, this is interesting. This is an area here where for a
Big
good week,
flag. We're looking at big pennant, and then it broke out, right? Boom.
yep, I would not be surprised if Enigma is finding a solid base in
Yeah.
this area
Yeah, I
here.
wouldn't. It'd be surprised for it to break. Like, you look at that flag, you'd be surprised if there to break below it. Like even below.
Any lower would be just more
I don't see it
accumulation.
much below 17. Do you see what I'm saying?
This
Like,
is a good coin here. Enigma's at a good price point right now
yeah,
to basically potentially take a position in.
yeah. I'm gonna real quick remind you guys, if you enjoy, what we're doing here, please follow me on Twitter. I am at Big Cheds. Put out a lot of chart ideas. You can follow me here on Twitter, obviously, and on YouTube. Subscribe. More videos are coming. I'll be doing a chart basics video for everybody, and on my blog, chedstrading.blogspot.com. I have a lot of great trading articles. Probably the most popular is the Complete Beginner's Guide to Crypto. You guys can see all the different sections here. You know, if I want to know beginner mistakes, talks about beginner mistakes, FOMO chasing, things to avoid, not taking profit, and I include a lot of testimonials from other people too, other traders. You guys can kind of see, it's a community thing. I like to we all work together. 5 ways trading's like poker. I have a great article, Trader Psychology and Polls. So I have kind of like all sorts of like all the different polls, what do you like to do to prepare for your trading week, and are you sad the trading week is always over, almost over, and what do you think is ethical, not ethical, stuff like that. So once again, to encourage you guys to check that out, chedstrading.blogspot.com. I'm on Twitter at Big Cheds, on YouTube Cheds Trading. We got a couple minutes left. We want to help the people out here. Let's do a couple more chart requests. NULS. Did I already not do dual NULS? NULS. BTC. Are you there, my man, Big Jonas?
I'm here, buddy. Let's do a few more,
And then let's do
and then I
Litecoin,
think we should
Bitcoin.
head back to the majors.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do this. Let's head back to the majors. NULS. NULS. Bollinger Pinch, right?
Take a look here. NULS.
I mean, it's not there, but it's heading towards a Bollinger Pinch.
This one's interesting. It definitely had one of those
It's not
parabolic
downtrending either.
moves.
It's not downtrending either.
It's not. It almost feels like it's trying to put in some higher lows, which we like to see in price action.
Look at the spike. Are you on 4 hour?
I'll go to 4 hour. Okay, I'm there.
Go 4 hour. Look at the spike in the on-balance volume back on 3.5. And so you kind of put that in context, right? And the price, and what's interesting is you see how much the on-balance volume spiked. The price didn't spike quite as much. Like it did, but not as much. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do. I also see it's finding heavy resistance in the 38,000 Satoshi range. But this one is interesting. This is one of the better looking charts we've seen tonight.
Yep. No, that is kind of interesting. I agree. You've got for right now, I mean, this is favorable to me, generally speaking, because you've got the on-balance volume is strong. You've got the bottom crossing with a Bollinger Pinch here, holding price. You have kind of a pennant right here on the 4 hour. I'll draw this for everybody. You kind of have like a little pennant right here, and you could argue even that it's breaking out of it. So that that's kind of interesting to me. Obviously, you'd want to kind of look for a close above this level here, right there, showing us the 37.8. Right, you'd be looking to see if we close above that. Let's do Litecoin. Let's take a quick look at Litecoin 4 hour again. Holding price at the bottom Bollinger, and maybe due for a little pop to what, like 187? What do you think?
So it seems like Litecoin and Bitcoin, the past 24, 48 hours are definitely trading a little more in sync. Every time Bitcoin has a pop, Litecoin kind of follows in suit, Ether as well. Kind of what I'm seeing right now. A lot of sideways price action. Looks like we had another bottoming with Bitcoin a couple hours ago. We're trying to kind of claw our way back up. But it feels like every time we have a little correction with Bitcoin, the bull advance is just a little weaker and a little weaker. And almost now we're having trouble just to get over that 92, 93 range.
Bitcoin or Litecoin?
Well, we're talking Litecoin, but I think the price action of Bitcoin right now is in correlation. Litecoin the same way here.
So there's been quite a bit of divergence between Bitcoin and Litecoin. Like
there has, and what's been very curious about Litecoin is if you look at the hourly chart, we have almost 10 hours now of a 180 top with Litecoin, where Bitcoin has consistently moved a little more. So you're definitely seeing a lot of stabilization in Litecoin between 175 and 180.
They look pretty similar,
right?
Bitcoin, Litecoin last 10 hours.
Is Litecoin creating a good support base? Remember, the longer you stay at a certain price point, the more accumulation that creates there, and the more sturdier foundation you're actually creating there. So these are all positive moves with Litecoin.
It's pretty clear. I think it's pretty straightforward how to play it. Like, I agree with everything you've said. I think also if you look at it, you go, okay, if this can hold 172. Then it can hold it. It can hold it high or low. If it doesn't, you're like, okay, is it going to hold 160, 161? So you've got these clear levels, these clear lower points of support, right? And if you look at the 1 hour chart showing us, right? Litecoin, you got that 172 support. You get that 160 support. So if you see those hold and they continue to be higher lows, then you're good. So we look.
Cheds, what are you seeing on the OBV on your chart there? Is that a little scary for you?
Yeah, it's not. I don't see strength. And you can argue bearish divergence because you have a rising price and a falling OBV.
I totally agree.
I mean, this is you could go, okay, bear flag, and so you just got to see if we can break out of it. Even if you call it a bear flag, that means we can still bounce from 178 to 190, which would be the top of the bear flag, or whatever it would be, 95. So we got to see how it plays out. Ethereum, 701 hourly chart looks very similar to the other ones right now. So I think they're short-term bullish, but like medium-term unclear. Would you kind of agree, or?
I would concur with that. I think as Bitcoin is trying to find where it's going right now, my personal opinion right now on Bitcoin, currently at 9,200 and change, is that it's going lower. I'm looking at some of the volume.
Tomorrow, next week, next year? Like, what are we talking about?
I think we are currently in a downtrend with occasional spikes in prices, which means there's definitely opportunities to scalp and make money.
Yeah,
but
that's what we're talking about. Look, I just want to know, are we going to bottom here? I'm looking at a 4-hour. I just want to know, do you concur? Are we gonna put a triple bottom in here on the 4-hour, or no? What's your read here?
I believe that we are in the formation of a very large bearish flag wedge, and I believe once we break that, Kobayashi Maru, it is a no-win situation right now.
Yep.
Remember, when Bitcoin bottomed on February 6th, and this is very interesting, we had a 30% 24-hour price action drop on Bitcoin. I do not believe we will be able to begin
But didn't you tell me that, what's his name, the bear whale's not in play right now? So if the bear whale's not in play, we go triple bottom 4-hour. I mean, yeah, we're bear flag here 4-hour, but we could easily test this upper trend line. I mean, what, right? There's no reason that couldn't happen.
I just see where the money's at, and right now the money is parked at a lower price because the money thinks it's going to a lower price.
Yep.
These are moments here where you can trade and scalp, and believe me, there's money to be made right now, but I would not be surprised. And we're talking days here. I don't think we're going to be left in the woods for very much longer. Right. I think we're going to know a clearer direction of Bitcoin in the coming days as this plays out, but I do believe for us to go higher, we have to have that lower test, that lower drop, that capitulation move to the down, which will then create our next bullish move up. And until that happens, this is a very precarious time right now for Bitcoin, and thus translating through all the alts. And that's where you can find value and those hidden gems out there.
Yep,
and you can find an alt that is not tanking when Bitcoin tanks, but is actually doing the opposite. And that's a coin you want to keep an eye on and potentially take a position in.
Well, that's it. You guys are hearing the music. It means we're wrapping things up March 12th, 2018. 375 billion market cap. I'm here with my main man, Big Chonas. Another show, Making Bread with Ched. Making Bread with Ched. Happy you guys were here. Check me out on Twitter, check me out on YouTube. You know, one love. None of this is possible without you guys, so thank you very much. Take care.